And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
All right, here we go. Another day committed to being your consumer advocate, helping you understand your buying decisions, making you more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, going against the nonsense in the mainstream media and more of a local flair here. It's all about our local area expert contributors, local business owners that can help you live a better life, avoid commission-based advice. I call it commission breath here on the show, and that's what it's all about. Save our hotline number in your phone. At some point, you may need it, 813-750-0550.
You used to call me on my cell
Call the
phone.
hotline, 813-750-0550. And you can also, it's an off-air number. So last week, for example, we had a lot of calls, people reaching out, wanting to know more about real estate advice. They were looking for some tax advice. They say, hey, look, it seems like our taxes are going to be going up here soon. So I wanted to talk to your tax advisor. Estate planning calls. We've had people calling into the show looking to get their credit improved. A lot of ways that we can help you here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Check out consumerqb.com for more details. We've got a great lineup for you today as well. Later in the show, we're going to have Thomas Young. He represents Cons, helping Cons. You've heard him as well, helping to reduce the recidivism rate. William Crowley's in the house as well. William Crowley, Diane Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage. And before we jump into this content, I want to just plug a couple of our sponsors here. We've got a new cleaning company associated with the company with the show, Cleaning Commandos, and they do such a great job on our real estate properties. We invited them to be an on-air sponsor. Now hiring, the biggest challenge for a lot of these companies is they're trying to hire, and unfortunately the Washington politics are pushing free money on people, and they're having difficult time finding jobs or finding folks to fill these jobs. So they're hiring. It says you must be at least 21, clean background, competitive wages, flexible hours, relaxed atmosphere. They're also offering a sign-on bonus. This is for Cleaning Commandos, and you can reach them at info@cleaningcommandosllc.com. And they would love to talk to you and work with you. They do residential cleaning, commercial cleaning here in Tampa Bay. So reach out to Cleaning Commandos. Make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. Take them up on those special offers. A couple of hot listings from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We've got a great property here in Apollo Beach. 911 Chipaway is a beautiful waterfront pool home right here in Tampa Bay, just south Hillsborough County there at 911 Chipaway Drive in Apollo Beach. This property is 3 bedrooms, 2 bath. It's updated kitchen and bathrooms, got tile flooring throughout, and just a beautiful opportunity to live that waterfront lifestyle right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
All right, let's make our introductions. Diane Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage. What's happening in the mortgage world?
Oh, it's still good. Still need homes. There's still a shortage of inventory, but it's still good. Rates are still very good. The feds are still buying the mortgage-backed securities, although I would expect it will taper off probably next year, they're predicting, and end of this year, beginning of next year. They had some higher inflation numbers, but the interest rates are staying pretty stable. So it's a good time to buy.
Absolutely. Yep, great time as well. We'll talk about some of the opportunities in the market as well, like with move-up buyers, with renters. You know, we haven't done a renter's opportunity for a while. Let's do a renter's text later in the show. Also, in studio, our friend William Crowley. Welcome back in.
Hey. Good to be back. I'm going to be talking. Well, I'm going to piggyback off of Diane. I want to see where Diane's going to go today because I've definitely worked for Diane. You hear that, Diane? But I also want to talk a little bit about the collection agencies and how they're right now are really taking advantage of a lot of the so-called vulnerable consumers. So we want to show them some of the ways that the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act can help them get around dealing with those collectors that take the price of a debt that's charged off, raise it, crazily raise it, I guess you would say, and then try to charge the consumer 10 times the amount, sometimes of what they owe to the original creditor. So we're going to help talk about that today if we can.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. We'll jump into that as well. And the way the show works is, as a consumer advocate, we bring on these expert contributors. They're the tops in their class and their division out of their different industries, and we do it to serve as a consumer advocate. So it's all about helping you understand your buying decisions, and so we greatly appreciate you spending some time with us here on the show. So let's jump right into some of the ideas that we're talking about, Diane. Right now, there's a great opportunity in the market. Let's outline some of the opportunities. There's some challenges, but there's also some great opportunities.
Oh, yeah. So we have a lot of people that are, because of the pricing, they're looking at condos because, it's more affordable sometimes. What they have to consider, of course, is you have monthly maintenance fees and things like that. But they're finding that those properties may not be as competitive as some of the other single-family homes. So we're having a lot of people purchase condos. One thing I want to explain today, though, is we not only approve the buyer, we also approve the condo project to protect the buyer. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, the agencies that actually buy all the paper from all the lenders in the country pretty much, they have specific guidelines, and what they look at is the condo actually, is the budget, do they have a reserve left over once they pay their expenses? And that kind of protects the buyers well. That way, if something happens, there's not a big assessment. There's also how many people in there are over 60-day delinquent. That's another one. You're only allowed a certain percentage that can be over delinquency. As investment property, they don't care about the primary and second homes. You can have as many investment properties in there that are, as a buyer, though, you may want to check that out. But if you're an investor going in to buy a condo, we are going to look at least 50% of the condos in the project are primary or second homes. They're looking at that as well. So there's a lot of questions that are on the condo, but we're seeing more and more people purchasing condos because of exactly what we've been talking about, is that we need more homes for sale, and even some of the condos, though, there's a lot of, I don't know, Brandon, if you're seeing there's just as much, there's still a hot market for that as well. But they're finding that they're able to, just for affordability, sometimes it may be more affordable for them.
Yeah, exactly. You have your maintenance rolled in, especially for that certain type of lifestyle. If you're traveling a lot, you're on a plane or out of town sometimes, that really helps. And then the other idea to think about, or the thing to have a precautionary mindset about, is the non-warrantable. Can you talk about non-warrantable condos?
Yeah, so all those things I just talked about, if they don't meet that, we have what is called a non-warrantable condo. Non-warrantable condos are where they do not have enough reserves, or they have too many investors in the project, or your investment, or if it's a kind of like a condo hotel type situation. We do have programs for that. The interest rate's a little higher on some of those. It just depends on what the situation is, but anything that doesn't work on the actual condo that can go directly through the agencies would be considered a non-warrantable, or a portfolio type loan where it's done by a lender or a bank that Fairway has several options. We have like 800 different options for different programs, and that's one of those. And so we have a lot of different avenues for particular programs that are not as that are for those non-warrantable condos. For instance, if you have too many delinquencies in the project, you could go non-warrantable. Or the only thing that I found that is not a negotiable item, even on the non-warrantable, is insurance. So if the master insurance does not cover at least 80% of the replacement costs, I actually had this come up, and nobody would take it. It was only 53% or 50%, and they weren't interested because it was flood insurance. And of course, we know FEMA, is very particular about their flood insurance, and it was only 50-something% of the replacement cost. So, and the buyer couldn't replace it, and they did not want to increase it. It was a very small project. That that I thought would be a non-warrantable, but they would not. Even the non-warrantable condos, they wanted to be protected for insurance.
Right.
So non-warrantable is when the normal questions that we ask on a normal questionnaire are not met, then we go to the non-warrantable condo.
Got it. Yep, that makes a lot of sense. And by the way, if you just joined us, we're talking to Diane Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage, local expert contributor here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Please support the local economy, shop small, shop local, and do that by working with DianeVance.com, DianeVance.com. And one of the interesting things also that I found out this past week, we had an interview with the Pinellas County property appraiser, Mike Twitty, and he talked about a white paper that he penned that is going to be now sent to be on the ballot for 2022. And essentially, I would believe it's going to get approved. I don't see why most people would oppose this. But what it's going to do, it's, so if you, let's say, for example, you have a home that's in a flood zone and you're built low. That's what another misconception people have as well. If you're in the flood zone and your property's kind of built low because it was built years and years ago, the property insurance or the flood insurance is based on your elevation, not so much as where it's located. Yes, if you're in a velocity zone and things like that, yes, it's based on being close to the beaches, etc. But it's primarily based on your elevation because that's where the rising waters will affect. So he's putting in a new proposed legislation that's going to say, hey, if you spend money and you improve your property and you make it where it's going to be less affected by rising waters or flood waters, then that's going to be a non-taxable event. That's going to be something that because typically the way it is now, if you were to make improvements in a flood zone, first of all, you have the 50% rule. You can't make changes above 50%. But to me, it sounds like a really interesting bill that he's putting into legislation. I don't know if you've heard about that or not, Diane.
I have not, but I am living the 50% rule right now.
Yeah, exactly.
I am living that and trying to remodel a little house that, it's all in the land. The value is in the land. And I have to laugh because the percentage that they give you, that 50% rule for these little houses, and a lot of times they're very small houses, from way back when in the 1950s that were built. And they probably maybe have been flooded once or twice in the last, 40 years, but right. you still have the situation of flood insurance. But yes, and you still are on that 50% rule. I have not heard that, but living the 50% rule right now, and I guess they just changed in Pinellas County. I guess it depends on where you're at. Some of the cities have different guidelines, but it used to be that you could do back-to-back permits. It's my understanding they've just changed it to 1 year. So once you've done improvements at the 50%, then your improvement cannot be done for another year to add on. Or do whatever. So if you're so it's especially with the rising cost of lumber and things like that, I would think that 50% rule would be increased, but it's 50% of the value of the home minus depreciation. So even though the home may be worth, a couple $100,000, let's say, and the land cost how much ever, what the value of that is has nothing to do with it. And then you have to take the depreciation. You may only have $50,000 or $60,000 that you're allowed to spend in improvements. But a lot of times when you are doing those improvements, that is actually, you're doing things to actually prevent, like you're going to put in waterproof flooring or something that's not going to actually cause damage. So, but no, it's very interesting. They definitely would like you to build up.
Yeah, exactly. Let's improve. Let's build up. Let's kind of prepare for some of these things that could potentially affect us, as we know here in the great state of Florida, the free state of Florida, as I call it, and a lot of other people are calling it now. Let's take a quick break here. When we come back, more with Diane Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage, William Crowley, the credit magician, on the program as well. Plus, we have our feel-good story of the day. Over 45 dogs rescued from overcrowded shelter and flown to forever homes. Find out about this really cool story right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. For more information, go to consumerqb.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
My friends, when choosing a listing agent to sell your home, their track record is critically important. Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of Platinum MVP Team at Keller Williams Real Estate. They're consistently rated by the MLS in the top 1% of all Tampa Bay realtors, and that's a big deal. Brandon and Lindsay are always among the top realtors in the state. Call them today at 813-750-0550.
Find them at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Selling commercial or residential property? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP Team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. Reach me at 813-670-7372 or platinummvpteam.com.
My name is James DeJerome, and I produce the Consumer Quarterback Show for Brandon Rhymes. The Consumer Quarterback Show is a team, a group of like-minded professionals who partner together to provide our audience sound advice, knowledge, and information to make them wiser consumers. We work with all types of business owners and aggressively promote our local economy. We're currently conducting interviews for our expert contributors. If you own a business or know someone who would benefit from the exposure our show provides, please contact us at 813-750-0550 or online at consumerqb.com.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. For all the real estate investors, you're hearing about how hot the market is right now. We've got a brand new relationship with a awesome group of folks that we work with. And I want you to text the word investor. If you are a real estate investor, you're looking to get into real estate investing, we've got off-market properties available for you. We're getting 4, 5, 6 of these a week. And these are assignable properties on a contract that's an off market. It's not on the MLS. So this is just for cash only investors that want to close quickly. Text the word investor to our hotline, 813-750-0550. Text investor to our hotline at 813-750-0550. We'll respond and ask you for your name and email. So if you want to include that in, that would be proactive on your behalf. Investor to our hotline, and we'll make sure we get you on our investor list. And we've got great properties, great rental properties right here in Tampa Bay that you can access. Again, off-market real estate opportunities from the Platinum MVP Team at Keller Williams Realty, a top 1% ranked real estate team here in Tampa Bay. Text to the hotline, 813-750-0550. 1200 Gulf Boulevard. This is a beautiful condo penthouse that we've got over on the beaches. 1200 Gulf Boulevard, $2.67 million listing of mine at 1805 is the unit number. This is the Meridian on Sand Key. 1200 Gulf Boulevard condo. Beautiful property. Resort-style amenities. Parking on site, of course. Bay access. Gulf water beaches. Beautiful property, 1,100 square foot terrace with gazebos, 3-bedroom suites, office and a den, and almost 4,000 square feet. Gorgeous property. You walk out the back, you got the pool, you got the barbecue area, and of course you're on the sugar sand beaches and dolphin-filled waters. Beautiful Clearwater Beach, #1 beach destination in the world. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. And this segment is brought to you by Discovery Golf Cars, the official golf cart company of the Consumer Quarterback Show, the golf cart provider for business or recreation. Discovery Golf Cars right here in Tampa Bay. Easy Go, Star EV, Cushman. They've got new and pre-owned available, and you can rent or buy. They have financing and mobile repair options as well. Check them out online, discoverygolfcars.com, and make sure you let them know you heard about them right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, Diane Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage, William Crowley in the house. And William, I want to bring you in here to the conversation. You and Diane work a lot together, helping folks maybe get up from one bracket to the next, improve their credit scores. What are you seeing in your world, my friend?
Well, first of all, let me just make sure people got the right website there. It's raiseourscore.com. I forgot to say that at the beginning of the show.
Raiseourscore.com.
Yeah, it's raiseyourscore.com. I just saw it in writing. Anyway, so me and Diane have been working together for a couple of years now, and I try to help her to get those clients over the hump that have the negative issues on the credit report. Now, of course, Diane first takes them through. What did that you take them through?
It's a simulator.
Yeah,
for,
simulator.
It's
right.
for easy. It's for easy things,
Right.
not for what you do.
Right. So I take the more difficult cases.
Yeah, you do.
And so we just want to definitely be able to help people from a legal standpoint to understand the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the Fair Debt Collection Practice Act, and CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Just any of those consumer laws out there that can help consumers legally get over the hump. We know that the clients, committed those acts of what you want to call it, financial irresponsibility, fiscal irresponsibility. But at the same time, just because you have dings on your credit doesn't mean that you're a bad person. Just means that you had some hiccups. And so we're here to kind of help them to get over that hump. The ones that Diane can't get through on the simulator, then we'll help in a more aggressive way using the Fair Credit Reporting Act to go after things like bankruptcies, tax liens, judgments, evictions, repossession, just name it, late payments, collections, whatever.
Collections, yeah.
And so we use the Fair Credit Reporting Act and we educate our consumers on how this really works. So we're saying, yes, the information belongs to you, but the information can be legally addressed and removed from your credit report based on a technicality, I guess you would say. Violation of due process, however you want to label it. But we take this information and legally remove it. And I want to remind consumers out there, as we're removing this information from the credit report, you can actually go and sue the credit reporting agencies for damages as well sometime later on. I think there's a 2-year window after the deletion, but check that and make sure. But so the information that does in fact belong to you, that the credit reporting agency filed on your credit report in violation of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. So there's steps that they have to follow when they put this information on the report.
Right.
And so that's what I help Diane with, and even Brandon too. Brandon, you're a realtor, but Diane looks at the credit report a lot more in detail than you do. But still, you send clients my way as well, and to help them get over that hump. It's kind of a tedious process. A lot of times people come to me and they want immediate gratification, immediate satisfaction, and sometimes we tell people, look, it takes time.
Yep.
Give it about 6 months. And follow what we tell you to do. Okay, that's the most important part. And that's where a lot of people drop the ball. And when we say follow what we tell you to do, everything is written out. Okay, we tell the client, mail this here. When you get the response back, send it back to us. That's the only difficult thing that people can't seem to do is get the information back to us once the credit reporting agency responds to them. The credit reporting agency will, no matter what credit repair company, no matter what credit restoration company or anybody that's restoring your credit, the credit reporting agencies are going to send the information back to you as the consumer. So you have to make sure you get this information back to the person that's doing the work for you, because we have no idea what they've said until we get those investigation results back.
And you're basically poking a hole in the process. You're saying, look, you violated due process. You're supposed to check with us first before you put these on my credit report. Mm-hmm. Some of them may be mine. Some of them may not be mine. Right. But the situation is, if you want to improve your credit score, you can visit RaiseOurScore.com. William Crowley, credit magician here on the show. I wanted to also ask you about your credit package, because sometimes we do a text offer for the credit package. Did you want to offer that today? Yes,
let's do that and make sure that people call in to get this important information, people, okay? Because this is information that we encourage people to do their credit repair themselves, okay? A lot of times people just want to do it themselves, and we're okay with that. In this package, you'll have some of the guidelines and the steps to use to do this yourself. And also, in addition to that, we put the promotional block information in there. Remember, all this information in the packet is a do-it-yourself program, free of charge, okay?
Yeah.
Free of charge. Because a lot of times people just come to me if they're just busy with their lives or they don't want to deal with the cumbersome paperwork. But in this package is a lot of great information. The promotional block I did kind of talk about, but the promotional block is what you want to use to get the credit reporting agencies from stop selling your information to anybody out there. That's one of the biggest, what you want to call it, the biggest
problems for identity theft.
Right, exactly. So protect yourself. Okay?
Text the word credit to our hotline, 813-750-0550. You can text the word credit to our hotline, 813-750-0550. We'll put you in touch with William Crowley. His team will send that to you. We'll ask for your email. We'll reply back with the credit package. It's going to teach you how to opt out of pre-screening, cut off that junk mail, reduce your chances of identity theft. And by the way, it'll teach you some pretty cool tricks about how to improve your scores.
Yes.
Or visit RaiseOurScore.com. William Crowley, credit magician. Diane Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage here on the Consumer Quarterback Show as well. Coming up, Thomas Young, Cons Helping Cons here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Follow us online at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter, Consumer Quarterback Show page on Facebook. We'll be right back after this short break.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
She hung up, Brandon. She hung up. Everybody stand by. I need to call Thomas, stand by.
That's how Will met him. Yeah.
I got Thomas on the line.
All right, Thomas, you ready, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Good.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you win in any marketplace. Brandon Rhymes here, your host. William Crowley's in the house. More from William coming up soon. We've got Thomas Yunk as well coming up here. Cons, helping Cons. I want to give a shout out to Veteran Gutters, Brandon Porter and his team. If you're looking to put gutters on your home, why would you not want to support a veteran-owned company right here in Tampa Bay? Local company, American-made product, Veteran Gutters, Brandon Porter. They do such a great job. I can tell you from firsthand experience, they're a first-class organization. And reach out, and this is the time to do it. Rainy season is here. Reach out to Veteran Gutters. Make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. Take them up on those special offers and incentives just for mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, we got a couple of hot property listings here I want to talk about on the show today. We've got some properties. A lot of people are looking for multifamily properties. So we've got 801 and 803 East Palm Avenue in Tampa, close to Ybor City, close to downtown. Also adjacent to that is 1905 North Taliaferro. So you've got three properties side by side, $750,000 each, a little over $2 million ask price for three multifamily properties that have cash flow. They are being rented daily as a hostel, so it's a great opportunity to own real estate right here in Tampa Bay. 801 and 803 East Palm Avenue in Tampa. 1905 North Taliaferro here in Tampa as well. Great investment opportunities from the Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. And also got some vacant land, 6513 South County Line Road, 4.8 acres out here in East Hillsborough County. Great opportunity to build your dream home. Beautiful property. You've got oak trees. You got a creek in the back, a creek reserve on the back there, preserve area. Great opportunity. 6513 South County Line Road, 4.8 acres. Price tag around $270,000, 5 acres in East Hillsborough County. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. We got our friend Thomas Young on the line here. Thomas, how you doing today, my friend?
Very well, sir. Thank you for having me.
Good. Last time we had you scheduled, you had an incident that happened at home. How's your wife doing? Is she doing okay?
Yes, and actually the surgeon, who has 30 years experience, said it was one of the worst breaks he's seen.
Wow.
So they scheduled emergency surgery for her, and actually she's healing well, but we're blessed that our daughter came home from New Hampshire for 2 weeks to be with us, to help us, because I'm disabled too. So it's been a blessing.
Wow. Well, that's good to hear, my friend. Tell us a little bit about what's going on in the business side with Cons Helping Cons, a 501c3, I believe, a nonprofit organization.
Actually, today I'm out scouting properties because I put the word out in Hernando County about how we're so short of beds. You know, there's just no openings for these guys to sleep. And I've actually had some people offer that they would let us use rooms in their homes.
Wow.
And so what I'm doing is I'm going out today. As a matter of fact, I'm sitting in my truck right now between interviews. I'm actually interviewing these people and explaining to them what they're in for by dealing with somebody who's just coming out of a long prison sentence.
Right.
You're going to have to help them get caught up on technology and just help them get used to being out in society again. So actually it's been kind of a fun day talking to people and seeing how willing people are to help somebody who's down on their luck.
Wow, that's really neat, man. That's some good people out there. That's some good people opening up their home for these folks coming out of the prison system, getting reacclimated back into the job pool, becoming tax-paying citizens again. That's really awesome, Thomas.
Thank you. And actually, the job portion is simple. I can find anybody a job within 24 hours right now because there's so many job openings. But it's the housing that's the problem. But, hey, the Lord's taking care of it.
Yeah, that's great, man. Some really good people out there. Cons Helping Cons, and you've also worked with Captain Will Smith. Talk about how you guys met and started working together and kind of some of the prison ministry type scenarios that you're doing as well.
Actually, Will and I met at a pastoral reentry meeting, and it was really nice to run into him because he has the exact same background, experience, and desire that I do. He was in prison unjustly. He came out, found out how hard it is to get back into mainstream society, but he did it. And now he's willing to help others do the same thing. Captain Will is an awesome dude. I like him.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking at these prison systems, the recidivism rate is something that I've been schooled on over, knowing you guys over the last couple of years here, and that's a challenge. Tell us some of the statistics, because I think that's really exciting when you talk about the statistics and when you're applying the strategies to the system. When these folks are coming out, talk a little bit about that for me.
Well, in Florida, the recidivism rate, and by the way, the definition of recidivism is the likelihood of going back to prison. The recidivism rate in Florida is 77% for a person who comes out of prison with no assistance. Because when you come out, you can't find a job, you can't find a place to live. Most places won't allow a felon to live, in their rental properties. So that's what I ran into when I was inside. These guys leave and they come back. They leave and they come back. And they told me that was the problem. So that was how we came up with Cons Helping Cons. We find them a job immediately. We find them a place to live. But then most importantly, we assign them a mentor. Because it's easy to get distracted when you come out of prison.
Right.
When you're inside, I know a lot of guys, very spiritual, right on task, planning their life. And then they get out and they get distracted by social media. They get distracted by all the doom and gloom of today's media. And it's easy for them to get off track. And that's where the mentor is invaluable, because the mentor touches base with them every day and says, hey, where are you at? How you thinking? How you feeling? And because of that, Cons Helping Cons now, in the last 8 years, that's how long we've been in existence, has helped over 1,000 men and women, and only 5 have gone back to prison.
Wow, that's awesome.
It's doable. If people just have a little bit of a hand up, we don't give any handouts. If you give them a hand up, they will do well.
That's great. We're talking with Thomas Young here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, Cons Helping Cons. Thomas Young is he's running a nonprofit organization here in Tampa Bay, helping reduce the recidivism rate Thomas, how can folks find you online, or how can, if they want to get involved and support, what's the best way?
The easiest way is just to go to our Facebook page, Cons Humming Cons, Free to Serve Incorporated. You can find us there. Or if you want, I can give you my phone number right now and people can call me. Is that okay, Brandon?
Yep, go ahead.
My phone number, my cell, which is on 24 hours a day, 813-516-9347. Call at all if you have questions, if you want to help. I'm always an open ear.
Yep. Now, Thomas, have you come across any other resources, any kind of state or federal monies that are helping these folks, maybe with simple things like trying to put together a resume or those types of scenarios?
Actually, yeah, there's a group out of Pinellas County called PERC, and that stands. It's PERC. It's Pinellas. I forget what the PERC stands for.
Ending recidivism, something like that.
Yeah, but it's not that. But anyway,
Re-entry.
It's a reentry program out of St. Pete. They're down on 16th Avenue South. And anyway, they also help with putting together resumes, finding jobs, finding housing. They're in the same boat we're in, though, as for housing. Everybody's in the same boat for housing. There is no housing available.
Yeah.
And that's because of the the moratorium on evictions right now. So that's why nothing's opening up.
Yep, part of it. That's part of it, absolutely. And then, and just you mentioned the labor crisis. It's you can trace it all back to the bad decisions coming out of Washington D.C. and just giving out free money. The labor crisis, a lot of bad stuff happening up in D.C. and just causing problems for ordinary business owners, just looking to try to get people to come serve food at their restaurants, or you walk into some restaurants and it says, hey, please have patience with us. That's taking us longer to get the food out, the sandwiches, etc. Because be careful, or be nice to those basically that made it into work, that chose to come to work, because a lot of folks didn't want to come to work, and that's why we're in this position. But yeah, that's a challenge that we're seeing with the mainstream media and just the stuff happening in D.C. right now as well. We talked about a lot about
and that goes back to my remark about, I tell the men and women coming out, don't become disheartened by what you hear on the news. Right.
That's right. Yep, you got to keep
It can become a distraction.
The battlefield of the mind. It all happens upstairs there in the mind, and if you let the negativity get to you, and you focus on fear and loss and those types of things, loss less than never is what Tony Robbins says. It can really hurt you. But we got to take a quick break here. More with our expert contributors, Thomas Young, William Crowley here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Plus, we have our feel-good story of the day. Over 45 dogs rescued from overcrowded shelter and flown to forever homes. Find out about that and more right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is Diane Vance with Fairway Independent Mortgage, a member of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Please give me a call for any of your mortgage needs. We do all sorts of loans. If you would like information on a mortgage, you can text me or call me at 727-647-8199. I will take care of all your mortgage needs. Go to my website at dianevance.com.
Ian Beckles here with my man Brandon Rhymes, a.k.a. the real estate quarterback. Brandon, what's happening with the market?
Thanks, Ian. We are in a low inventory market, so any of our listeners are homeowners and would like a free comparable market analysis or a 2.5% listing, we will honor this for the first 3 listeners who call or text in 813-773-1253. Free CMA and a 2.5% real estate listing at 813-773-1253.
Check out consumerqb.com. Selling commercial or residential property? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. Reach me at 813-670-7372 or platinummvpteam.com.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in your real estate deals if you're buying, selling, or investing. Top 1% ranked real estate team. Off-market real estate opportunities as well. If you text investor to our hotline, we'll be in touch with you. 813-750-0550. We got a new relationship with a lot of off-market investor opportunities. Text to our hotline at 813-750-0550 if you'd like to be added to our off-market real estate investment list. Hot property here for this segment. We've got property in Clearwater. This is 1780 Clearwater Largo Road. This is a commercial property, corner lot, 40,000 plus vehicles a day driving by, 1780 Clearwater Largo Road. And if you want to have your real estate property featured on the show, we would love to talk to you about that. We help our sellers profit more and sell faster just by visiting consumerqb.com or platinummvpteam.kw.com. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Somewhere sunny and 70.
All right, every day we like to tell you something good here in our Feel Good segment of the day.
Tell me something good.
All right, so we've got more than 45 at-risk shelter dogs were flown from El Paso to Portland Wednesday morning to be hand-delivered to adoptive and foster families. On May 26th, Austin-based company had pet-friendly pest protection program teamed up with Dog Is My Co-Pilot, rescued 45-plus dogs from overcrowded shelters in West Texas. And it was, these animals were at risk of being euthanized, and these adoption centers helped them find their forever home. These animals were leaving the airport, were rescued by Heather Hall with the Underground Dog Organization from West Texas. They run the shelters over there, 40 dogs being rescued. So there's your feel-good story of the day. Really cool story of dogs not being, finding that forever home. That's great. We actually helped somebody personally, too, that had sent a message yesterday, and we helped find a local dog here in Tampa Bay a home. So that was pretty cool, just helping out behind the scenes. So we got William Crowley in studio, credit magician in the house, and Thomas Young on the line as well, Cons helping Cons. And we don't do a lot of these national stories, these headline stories, but this one I've just got to play a clip from Charlie Kirk podcast where this is our a lot of these universities are funded by government dollars. They're getting some tax incentives, and then they've got these huge endowments, 40 million, 50 or 50, in some cases billions of dollars of endowments. But this is what's being taught in Yale. I thought, people think Harvard, Yale, very prestigious, right? These are great Ivy League schools. This is what's being taught by one of the professors in one of their classes. This is out of Yale, and you have to hear it to believe it. This is straight from the Charlie Kirk podcast.
Quote, I had fantasies of unloading a revolver into the head of any white person that got in my way, burying their body, wiping my bloody hands as I walk away, relatively guiltless, with a bounce in my step, like I did the world a effing favor. This is Yale. This is a direct quote from the course. Quote, white people are out of their minds and have been for a long time. Quote, we are now in a psychological predicament because white people feel that we are bullying them when we bring up race. They feel that we should be thanking them for all they have done for us. They are confused, and so are we. We keep forgetting that directly talking about race is a waste of our breath. Now, why are you doing it? We are asking a demented, violent predator, white people, who thinks that they are a saint or a superhero to accept responsibility. It ain't going to happen.
So this is the indoctrination, not only at universities, you're seeing it taught in public schools. You've seen a lot of these videos now coming out online. You see them on Fox or Newsmax and certain channels, but you won't find them on the other channels.
Mm-hmm.
You don't find, same with the Hunter text messages that just came out with the N-word in them.
Oh, yeah.
So
he won't apologize for it. Is he going to apologize for it? Or the family?
I doubt it. Yeah, nobody will know about it. It's like two different information cycles. Mm-hmm. If you're in the know, you know about it. If you're not, you don't.
Right.
But What I hate about critical race theory and these types of, the Coca-Cola with the white is that it's completely against what Dr. Martin Luther King stood for, and so many people fought for, judging a man on his character and not the color of the skin, William.
Right, on the content of his character, not the color of his skin. That's true. And I mean, and I'm a black man, as you know. And I mean, I'm against it. I come from that. And you, Brandon, you've heard me speak on different occasions about this as well, my discomfort with it. I'm 60 now, I might as well say, but I came up in the ranks in the 80s and the 90s, espousing that same type of rhetoric, playing the victim and blaming everybody else for our shortcomings. Now, there's racism in every society, but the way they expand it in this country, I think, is more strategic than anything. Okay, it's strategic, and it's really doing everybody a disservice. It even does the black community a disservice, and a lot of us are uncomfortable and dissatisfied with the type of rhetoric that's coming out. And we need to have open dialogue, like some of the events that me and you attend, Brandon, where we have open dialogue and talk about this kind of stuff. Because if we leave it up to the media has an agenda.
That's right.
The majority of the media have an agenda. So when they put this stuff on television, it's to meet their agenda. They have no concern for the black community. Believe me, they use us to get to what they want, and then they discard us. And most of us, we can only blame ourselves for this. I can go on, but I just wanted to comment on that.
It's true. It's race baiting. I mean, there's so many things that are happening, with that. And there was a new song that just came out too. Or at least I think it's somewhat new, but it was trending #1 on YouTube, and it's just recently trending. Tom McDonald, Snowflakes. Have you heard of that?
No, I haven't.
Listen to this guy. I'm going to play it right here.
Okay.
Listen to this. All right, here we go. This is the #1 trending song right now.
What's his name? Thomas what?
Tom McDonald, Snowflakes.
You know who hates America the most? Americans. Trigger warnings used to be on TV for seizures, and now they're everywhere to protect millennials' feelings. He, she, his, him, hers, them, they. Screw a pronoun, cause everyone's a retard these days. I hear 'em preaching at the protest that hatred's the problem, but hating straight men, white folks, and Christians is common. Coca-Cola.
Hating straight men, white folks, and Christians is common. That's the #1 thing. He shouldn't have said the retard word. He shouldn't have said that. But anyways. But anyways, he goes on. He goes on with this whole show about, oh, you want to attack guns? Well, what about all the millions of kids that you're aborting every year?
Right.
With the pro-choice.
Makes sense. Yeah.
And it's just kind of what we're saying. Thomas, I don't know if you're there. If you heard any of that. If you had a comment.
I did.
Okay.
I did hear it. And actually, interesting about the race relations.
Yeah.
When in prison, you learn to get along. And actually, I think when most people come out of prison, they are less racial than when they went in.
Right.
Because you get to know somebody on a character's level instead of on a color level.
Right.
That's a good point. Yeah, because you're in the system. You might as well try to get along and and work together in those systems to try to at least be cordial to each other. I guess at some point. I obviously haven't been in like you guys have, you and Will, but but yeah, I mean, so the race baiting, I mean, all that kind of stuff is what happens on a national level. We're seeing this, and it's just to a point where, and a lot of people say, well, you're in business, you shouldn't talk about this. You want to focus on just local business stuff, but at some point, where do you have at some point you draw a line and you say, well, I'm a moral guy, I'm a Christian,
right.
I believe in an afterlife, and I believe in doing the right thing. So, that's the conventional wisdom, though, is don't talk politics, don't talk about these things. But hey, I don't care, I'm going to do it.
Right, and that's all they do on the news is talk about politics. And
that's right.
But they have an agenda when they talk about it. We have to talk about it.
We have to,
because we have to crush these contradictions.
Yep.
Because they're misleading us. So we need to have dialogue amongst ourselves to keep the unity.
That's right.
Yes.
To keep the unity. That's right. Mm-hmm. And I think this Snowflake song by Tom McDonald, this is a good way to reach the youth. So, check that out. Look it up. Share it. I've shared it on a couple of my sites. And the first time I shared it, I actually shared the link. I noticed that it didn't get much traction at all online because I think they, have these web crawlers that recognize, oh, he shared this song and it's a conservative value song. Yeah. It happens to be a rap song, but they throttle that down with the algorithm.
Yeah, but they'll let our rap go out, and talk about victimhood and racism and everything. they won't take none of that down. Interesting.
That's right. Yeah, so Snowflakes, check it out. Tom McDonald, check it out, and that's that's something to think about there.
I like that.
Let's jump into our lightning round. So let's bring it back to a local level. Top tips, nuggets of advice, words of wisdom, what we can do here on a local level.
The lightning round!
I am so good at lightning rounds!
I majored in lightning rounds.
All right, William, you're good at these lightning rounds. Give us some tips, consumer advocate tips, my friend.
Folks, read the FCRA. That's the acronym. It's the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Please read this. The information I share on this radio show, it's not just off the top of my head. I use these laws to try to bring them into layman's terms and interpret it to the community so you can understand your rights. You have rights. The Fair Credit Reporting Act is a consumer law that's been there since 1970. Go read the law, ftc.gov, the Fair Credit Reporting Act.
RaiseYourScore.com, William Crowley as well. RaiseOurScore.com, good correction.
Our score.
And Thomas, if you're still there, we got about 30 seconds for you. Final thought, my friend.
Well, I'm listening to this, all this talk about racism and all that, and I'm thinking, we all have an internal moral compass. We need to stick with that. And don't let society drive you into doing something that you shouldn't do.
Right.
The white folk are being asked to apologize for a lot of things that, I shouldn't get into this, but let's stick with our internal moral compass and continue to do the right thing.
Yep. Yes. That's right. Absolutely. Well, hey, good stuff. I want to thank our expert contributors, William Crowley in the house, Thomas Young, Diane Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage. Support the local economy, support the local show here. DianeVance.com, RaiseOurScore.com, and Cons Helping Cons. You can find them on Facebook, Cons Helping Cons, Free to Serve, Inc., as well. And another great show. As we always say, we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. Donate some blood. Donate some time. Maybe feed the homeless. Lots of ways that you can do something small and make a big difference. And we'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We would love for you to connect with us online at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter. The Consumer Quarterback Show page as well on Facebook. And also the Platinum MVP Team on Facebook as well. PlatinumMVPTeam.kw.com. We appreciate you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time right here on the radio. Take care.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.